Hi, guys. Oh my gosh, today's guest is someone who has dedicated her career to helping women build confidence, find opportunity, and create better futures for themselves and their families. And I love this so much. Amara Martin is the CEO of Dress for Success Denver, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to help women achieve economic independence by providing support, professional development, and the tools needed to thrive in work and in life. For nearly 2 decades, Amara has been a driving force behind that organization, helping expand programs, build community partnerships, and support thousands of women as they navigate career transitions, financial challenges, and personal reinvention. She's also an author, a speaker, and passionate advocate for the belief that every woman deserves dignity, opportunity, and the chance to define success on her own terms. But what I really love most about Amara is that she doesn't just talk about empowerment. Everybody's talking, talking, talking. Amara spends every day helping women rebuild confidence and create real change in their lives. And Amara, I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
I have been thinking about this episode coming up upon it, and I've just been so excited to get to dive into what Dress for Success does, what you've spent your career doing, because I think there's some not misinformation, but just people don't know what it is, and they think it's one specific thing, and it's really not just that one thing. And so, at any rate, I am so excited to go dive deep into all the things. But before we do that, with every guest, I always like to start here. Before we talk about your amazing career and all the amazing things that you've done and all the lives that you've impacted, who was younger, Amara? What were you like growing up?
I love that question because I really love her. So, young Amara, she was super tall. I have been
Yeah,
super
the tall
tall
girls.
since I was 12 years old and totally out of place everywhere that she went. She never really felt comfortable anywhere that she went. And so, what that did, it really encouraged her to stand out and the beauty of standing out. And so, I became a standout athlete, a standout student. I was in drama and would be on stage in all of those places. I remember my grandmother saying, people are going to look at you because you look different. So, you might as well look good. And I was like, okay. So I was like, let me stand out. Let me be the one that's going to get the attention. And so I learned really young to value that attention and to really stand out. And as I entered those different arenas, I found comfort there that would later on trickle into my everyday life.
I love that so much. And you're gonna have to keep correcting me because I'm always keep saying your name wrong. So Amara. I just
Yes,
want to make sure
write
I'm saying
down
it right.
camera and
Yeah.
cross out the C.
Oh, Cameron, that's a good one. Okay, so I will try to not screw that up anymore. And thank you for saying it correctly for me. I love this so much because for those that are just listening that aren't watching us, um, you are drop dead gorgeous. And also, as a very tall woman, I also love that you are also a very tall woman. And I
Mhm.
think that, us large women, we go through the world, we see the world a little bit differently than a lot of other people because it's not as common. And I love that, your family was supportive of you just like being totally 100% your best self exactly as you are. And I think a lot of times women, we shrink and we're like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I'm sure you experienced this, I experienced this, like I was taller than everybody for a long time and then they all caught up, and so you're awkward and you're whatever. But learning early to have that confidence is so awesome, and I love I love that you had that experience. And also amazing, it's a little bit amazing help in sports too. I played sports too. Probably not as well as you because I didn't do it through college or anything like that. But I really love that your family again gave you so much confidence just to be 100% fully who you are and were. Finding your real purpose outside of childhood. You've now spent 20 years serving women through Dress for Success Denver, which is totally incredible. And I didn't even realize it had been around that long. So what first drew you to that work? And when did you realize that helping women was going to be such a central theme or central part of your life's purpose?
Absolutely. I remember the woman who founded the Denver location. Her name was Kathy Bacon. Hi, Kathy, if you're watching. She worked with me at a large luxury retailer, and she left to go and start that location. And she said to all of us, hey, I need you to come down and volunteer. I need help. And since that's what we already do, we were stylists. I thought, well, I'll go down and volunteer. I've never really volunteered a whole lot before, but I figured I would try it and see what happened. And so I went down and I volunteered for an entire month. I never saw someone. So I'm cleaning clothes in the boutique space. I'm styling mannequins. I'm doing all of this work, but I never saw someone. Then finally, I got my very first client, and her name was Pearlie. And I've never forgotten Pearlie, because I am putting her in a gorgeous jacket. I'm putting her in a gorgeous dress, finding the great labels, trying to put everything together for her. And she is telling me about this job, and that this job is not just about her looking great, but this job is going to help her change her life situation for herself and her family. And that really kind of flipped my idea about what Dress for Success is. I had thought, well, I'm just going to come down and style people. It's fun. I get to play dress up. No, no. It's so much more than that. You are giving someone tools to alter the direction of their professional lives, which will trickle into their regular lives that will help them achieve self-defined success. And I saw her in the mirror, and I saw her stand up straight and look herself in the mirror and even kind of say, hey, I look good. I can do this. Stand up straight. And it was that level of confidence that I knew she could carry into the most nerve-wracking experience, interviewing for a job. And I knew this place was very special, and that my role there would be very special, because at that time I was younger than everybody there. I was one of the only women of color there, even though everybody we were serving were women of color. And I'm like, this is really important that I become a role model for these individuals who are coming in, who are trying something that they've never done before, who are willing to put themselves out there. And so I thought, I need to be willing to put myself out there as well. And so I knew this would be my purpose. And I ended up leaving that retailer and just offering to volunteer at Dress for Success. I'm like, I'll just volunteer, because they had just started, they didn't have any money. And then it just so happened they got money to hire someone. And so I was the first employee hired. And I
Wow.
don't necessarily believe in serendipity. I don't believe, well, this kind of happens and that kind of happens. I believe this is a divine plan. And I think that this was my divine plan. It was a setup of where I was supposed to go. And I just needed to stay steadfast and stay focused on helping that individual woman and being there for her. And that is what has kept me opening doors for women for 20 years.
Wow. Well, I definitely do not believe in coincidences. I believe that you are meant to do this. I believe that we are
Mhm.
definitely set on our paths, and things are put in our paths for a reason. You didn't know it at the time, but this little volunteer project you were doing is actually what was actually your real
Mhm.
path that you're really
Mhm.
supposed to be on. It's so
Mhm.
incredible. You've worked with many women, so many women from so many different backgrounds and circumstances, and you've really seen really just a ton of different kind of experiences that you've had. When women first walk through the door of Dress for Success, what do you think they need most? And second part of that question, is it usually the thing that they think they need?
Ooh, that's a good one. No, I'll answer the second part first. No, definitely not. Because women come in thinking, okay, I'm going to get an outfit to wear to a job interview. I'm going to meet with a career coach so that I can learn how to market myself, how to do a job search, and all of that stuff. That's what they come in saying, that's what I need.
I
And
think they need
yes,
it.
eventually that is what you need. But what I truly believe, every woman that has come through our doors, and I think women in general, it starts internal. You need to develop a sense of worthiness. And that worthiness has to do with internal confidence. There is an epidemic of unworthiness. Some people call it imposter syndrome. You can call it whatever you want, but it's, I'm not worthy of this. I've made so many mistakes in my life. I don't deserve to have a job like this. I can just get by. I need to get by. I need to accept whatever is given to me. That is a common belief across the board. And there's this little flicker that drives you to dress for success, saying, well, maybe I could try to do something different. And so when you come through our doors, from the moment you ring the bell, we are creating a sense of worthiness in you. We are here to serve you. It is all a strategy. We're here to serve you. When I meet you, I'm asking you, can I get you some water? Can I get you anything? Do you need to use the restroom? Because this is about you. It's not about me. I'm not asking you 100 questions about your demographic and all of that. Nope. I am here to serve you first and foremost because you're worthy of that. And then we train our volunteers, and I love our volunteers. We couldn't do anything without them.
Shout out to the volunteers.
Love them. Seriously, thank you. Every single one of our volunteers. And we train them. You are going to assist a woman with her zipper, watch her jacket, get on your knees to help her with the hem of her pants, help her put on her shoes. You are providing her that support. We call her by her name. What is your individual style? There is no universal style. We are not here to tell you what to do or even tell you what to dress. We are here to help you identify your style and to provide you with the resources that you need. I believe every woman is the master of her own destiny. There is a place inside of you where you know exactly what you want to do and what you need to do. And it is our job to really unearth that. And I've seen it. It happens so quickly, right in front of my face. I see it. It's like a light bulb goes off. People's eyes go up and they're like, oh, that's interesting. You're meeting with a career coach and you're like, oh, I had never thought about my personal brand. I didn't know that I had a brand. And you start thinking about things. And once I can get you thinking, then the clothes, the employment resources, the career center, it all starts clicking and it all starts coming together. And that inner confidence comes out and that determination and that I am going to go for it. I do deserve it. I am going to do everything I can in order to actually be happy and feel empowered in my own life.
I love that because, I think that you're exactly right. You have these women that are coming in thinking, okay, I need a blazer for this interview, or I need a whatever for this job opportunity. And the difference of the minute they walk in the door, you are really catering to them, and like you said, using their first name and asking them if they need anything, and like just that consideration just right out of the gate is so lovely, and so I'm sure disarming for so many people that are just like, ugh, I gotta come in here, I gotta do this, and we as people, but especially women, are like always so worried about what people think, or oh my gosh, what are they going to think about me, or oh my gosh, I feel uncomfortable in my own skin, like I don't want to walk in there without the right outfit on, or
Mhm.
whatever. So I love that you're immediately disarming them in the best way, with love and care and just, again, consideration. And I know that this carries down through your volunteers, because I know one of your volunteers, a couple of them, but one specifically, and just to see their passion and love when they light up talking about helping the women and helping everybody that comes in, and just like the sheer joy that is obviously starting with you and trickling down to all the volunteers, is just so lovely. And so it's not just like, oh, I'm volunteering because I need to check that off my list, or whatever reason people volunteer for, right? Sometimes it's just like um, some kind of obligation, and you can really tell your volunteers are so passionate, so caring, so loving, and it's very lovely to see. And it obviously starts with you.
It does. And, we create a judgment-free zone. And I think that that's important. And that's something I want to state because so many of us, I mean, all of us, including myself, I don't want to be judged. I really don't. Please don't judge me. I
Right.
get
I mean,
judged all day, every day. And when you come into Dress for Success, we are not there to judge you. It does not matter where you came from, what you did, what you didn't do, the education you have, the training you have. It doesn't matter to me. This is irrelevant. I am focused on you and your potential and your belief in yourself for today. And when you create a no judgment zone that comes out of the pores of your organization, like you can just feel it when you walk in the office, that is what has allowed us to be so relevant for so many years. And for over 24,000 women have come
wow,
through our doors. It's amazing. And
that
it's
is,
really that I joke with my board members and my supporters. I'm like, we don't advertise. I don't advertise. I'm not on billboards. I'm not on TV telling people to come to Dress for Success. They come to me. They come through word of mouth. They come through relationships because people know out there I can go to this place, feel better about myself, get the resources that I need, and all they want is for me to be successful.
I mean, that's incredible. 24,000 women. That is just like, that just shows the power of community, the power of, again, something that started as a volunteer position for you. Like it's incredible. Like it's just so impressive. One of the things you specifically wanted listeners to hear is the power of perseverance. So
Mhm.
what have the women you've served taught you about perseverance that surprised you? And also, what did those women teach you about strength that no, leadership course or book could ever
Mhm.
teach you?
Mhm. They have taught me the real definition of perseverance, which is an absolute, total, and complete determination to not give up.
Mm.
There is not a spirit of give up. And I mean insurmountable obstacles. I can tell you story after story of things that send chills up my spine. I mean, I remember one woman, she was in a local domestic violence shelter and she had finally gotten away from her ex and gotten the legal paperwork, restraining orders, etc. She had two children and she had to get a job. She had never had a job before. She was always a stay-at-home mother. She dropped out of college and she felt she didn't have any training, she didn't have the education, and she was so worried about it. So she came to us. We matched her with a career coach. They helped her apply for a job. Of course, we got her a great outfit. She gets that job and she starts working. As she's getting ready to get out of the shelter, somehow her ex finds her and they have an altercation on a street. He finds her in a car. He pulls her out of the car and drags her across the street by her hair. The police are called. Her kids are screaming in the street. I mean, it's like this big scene. It's like a movie, but it's real. Because after this incident, she came back to see us. And I remember her sitting on my couch shaking. And she's just shaking. And she's like, I'm so scared. I'm so afraid. But then she said, but I need to go to work tomorrow. I got to go to work tomorrow. I got to go to work because I have to be able to take care of myself and my children, or I'm never going to get free from this. That is perseverance. That is terrifying. And it would be so easy to go into your house and just curl up on the couch and hide from the world and say, I'm not doing that anymore. But she said, no, I have to do it. That's perseverance. It's perseverance when I've had a woman who was very prominent in a prominent role in a position, doing well, everything was great. She got mixed up in some illegal activity and ended up going to jail. And she never experienced anything like that, but she made a huge mistake and ended up going to jail. So now she's out of jail with a felony record and she's got training, education, background, all of the above, but she has this scarlet A on
Yeah.
her forehead of the
Yeah.
mistake that she made. But she's like, well, I got to do something. I
Hmm.
can't just give up. I have got to keep going. I've got to figure it out. And those are just two examples of people and what it really means to persevere and to not be concerned about what the world might say, how you might be judged, all of that, and just saying, I am going to do something. And
Mm.
that is a lesson I learn every single day. I love perseverance. I absolutely love that. And when I think about strength, strength is showing up when it's hard, when you don't want to do it. I know even in my own life, when I've felt my weakest, that is when I have been the strongest because I am determined and I do keep going. And having the strength to ask for help
Mm.
when we have women who come to us and they say, you know what, I need help. I need help beyond even your career center or your outfit or my professional network that we're offering. They're like, I need help. Do you have a resource for a mental health organization? That is strength. It is admitting that you need to take care of yourself in order to continue to show up. That is really true strength, in my opinion, in what I have seen women do. And I am just mesmerized by them.
Yeah, I mean, I think for women specifically, it's really hard for a lot of times for us to ask for help because we're
Mhm,
busy taking care of everyone else. And
mhm,
it's like the last person that gets the help is us because we're taking care of everybody else, we're worried about everyone else. And I can imagine I mean, those stories you're telling are so moving. And, I could imagine that it's probably very quick for you to pop that back into your mind when you're feeling down or stressed or
mhm,
overwhelmed or like,
mhm.
I don't know if I can do this today. Like, I'm sure those stories pop in your mind pretty regularly. Like, if she can do it, I can do it. And I think it's just so sweet and lovely and just badass. Just to hear these stories of these women that are going through these like really tough things and still pushing through. I was talking to somebody the other day about one of our other women the other day about fear and what stops us from doing things. And I think a lot of times, when you see somebody successful, you think, oh my god, they're just fearless, they're so amazing, da da da. No, they're not fearless. They just figure out how to push through fear. Everybody has the fear, it's just a matter of getting to the other side of it. And it's like, acknowledging it and then moving past it, as opposed to letting that fear stop you in your tracks. And all these women, all these stories you're telling are perfect examples of, I am totally scared shitless, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to push through, and because I want to make myself, make my life, make my kids' life better.
Yep. It's that determination that my life is going to count. I get one life and it's going to have to count regardless of it. If your life is cut short, if I die tomorrow, I want to make sure that every second that I had on this earth that I did something. For me, it's about I want to make sure that I served my community and that I showed up. I truly believe in selflessness. And that is something that I have learned over 20 years. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't start that way. I absolutely didn't start off selfless. I was like, well, it's about me. And what about me, me, me? And I want to be the star and I want to be. That is not that's how I started. But what I have learned over 20 years is what it means to be selfless and I am not here to serve myself. I'm here to serve my fellow human. I'm here to serve my community. I'm here to serve that woman that I drive by on the street with a sign. That's who I'm here to serve. I'm here to help other people. And by helping other people, I ultimately feel good, but it's not about me. It's about them. And it is having that strength, having that perseverance. Let them see it in you. And then you become that role model. Role modeling is so important and it has played such a vital role in my life, even by default, when I didn't want to be a role model. and I didn't want people looking at me. I still had to do it, and they have been better for it. It is so wonderful when people are like, I saw you struggle, or I saw you on TV once, and I thought, my gosh, I want to do that. And I'm thinking, who are you talking about? Me? I'm not the one that you want to try to be like, but if that's how they see it, so be it. Let them be. Every single one of us is a role model for somebody else. If it's someone in our community, our family, our children, all of the above, you're always being watched. That gives you relevance. That gives you an excuse, a reason to keep pushing even when it gets hard.
Yeah, you often talk about the importance of authenticity and the beauty of letting others see you struggle, like you just
Mhm.
said. Why do you think it's so important to let others see you struggle, to show your vulnerabilities, and why is authenticity so vital?
It is so important because we need to learn how to relate to people as humans. Oftentimes we'll put people on a pedestal, like, oh, they come into my life as a movie, right? And they come in the back, the end of the movie, when everything is great and everything is wonderful. And so they don't recognize and they can't relate to how I got there. I will say over these past 4 years, I have had like a season of sickness, is what I have called it. It's been a whole season. It's been 4 years. I started off breaking a bone, ended up with some very rare cancer, went through chemo treatments for 2.5 years. I was in a wheelchair. I've had a feeding tube. I've been in and out of the hospital. I mean, it's been a continual nightmare. And in the midst of all of that, yes, I did keep working. And I had people say, why didn't you stop working? Well, what am I going to do? Sit in my house and stare at the wall and daydream about this illness, this disease coming to kill me? No, I need something to do. So I would take rides because I couldn't drive and go to work for a couple of hours, take a nap at my desk, get up, work for another hour, come home and sleep for 2 days. And I remember women coming in and out of our programs and seeing me. And so they had always known me as this big, impressive figure and so powerful. And I was reduced visually to not that, but they saw that perseverance and like, this is how it is. It's not pretty right now. It's really bad. It's
Mhm,
scary right now. But
mhm.
I'm going to keep doing what I can do. I am going to be who I am. And I wasn't thinking, well, I'm going to show up for them. I'm going to show up. I was really thinking about self survival. But the feedback that I've gotten, it had such an impact on them. And they're like, my gosh, when I saw that, I know I can do this. I know when you get a diagnosis, it doesn't necessarily have to be a death sentence. There is a power to move past that. Use the medications, get the right doctors, do everything you can. You may have to have a lot of procedures, and you may have a lot of scars, and I have a lot of scars, but that is life.
Yeah.
And it's by showing that life. And for every single person that I met on my journey who didn't make it with me, who I lost, I live for them. And I live for everybody that I come in contact with. And it was so important to be authentic and let them see you struggle. Don't hide. Be brave. Go out there. You will be surprised the people that will come around you and not just lift you up. I mean, I had people holding one arm, holding the other arm, one person that I was like standing on, one who was holding my back because I couldn't stand up straight. I mean, I had a community of people who came
Wow.
together to support me in my work, but most importantly, in myself.
Mhm.
And so I'm not alone in this life. Often people who are CEOs, who are directors, who are leaders, they feel alone. You are so not alone. You have so many people cheering for you, and they're everywhere. And they will come to you when you are your authentic self and allow people to see you struggle.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful because I think one of the things that I've learned over the years in high level women's executive groups specifically
Mhm,
is just
mhm.
exactly what you said. Women specifically, I'm talking about women just because that's the groups that I've been in, but um, they get to those high level positions. They've clawed their way to the top with this image of perfection. You know, they got to look perfect, act perfect, talk perfect. They got to perform outstanding, and then they get up there. They've created this, like I said, image of perfection, and then they're like, you know, crickets. I'm totally alone up here, and I have no one to talk to, and I can't be vulnerable. And the really impressive thing is when those folks, just like you did, share that vulnerability, and it's like everyone around you goes, "Oh my gosh, like I thought she was perfect. I thought everything in her life was perfect. I could never be vulnerable with her because she would never be able to relate to what I'm talking about." And it's like that's totally everybody's got something, right? We just don't know what private struggles people are going through. And so I really commend you for sharing all of that with the people around you because I know without talking to any of them that it was significantly impactful just from again you know, even just your um presence coming into a room. Again, you're a really tall woman, you're very like wonderful big personality, and it's like I can only imagine what those people were like, what was impressed upon those people when they're thinking, "Oh my gosh, she's in a wheelchair or she's struggling through this health issue," whichever one, all of the ones you named, like, right? Pick one. There's a million of
Sure.
them, right? That you went through so many struggles and they were like, I know that had a huge impact on people. And I think it's just a testament to really being open and being vulnerable and being authentic. And it really can help people see the genuine intention behind the work that you're doing. And they go, okay, like she really wants the best for me. She really, and she knows what it's like to struggle. And she knows what it's like not to be perfect, not to be that perfect thing
Exactly.
that we all think, you know, we see. Um, so that's, I'm just so impressed by that. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you love this conversation as much as I did. And we're not done yet. This continues in part 2. So make sure you come back and join us there. That's a wrap on today's episode of Carrie, It's Not That Serious. If this conversation resonated, subscribe and share it with a woman in power in your life. You can find more conversations, more community, and all the fun INTS merch you love at itsnotthatserious.com. We're building something meaningful here, and I'm so glad you're a part of it. Until next time, remember, it's not that serious.